I'm Tia Borden with MiningIR, and beside me is Daniel Major, CEO of GoviEx Uranium. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for the invite.
I'd love to dive into your projects, but can you give us a brief overview of yourself?
Myself, mining engineer. I've been in this industry over 35 years. Spent some time as an equity analyst as well. I've worked in almost every continent around the world in multiple commodities.
Lots of experience.
Yeah.
You have two current flagship projects on the go. Can you give us some background on both of them?
Yeah, absolutely. Both Africa, both uranium focused, both development projects. We've got the Madaouela Project in Niger. We had finished the feasibility study on that one last year. We were working on the debt financing, and then unfortunately in July there was a coup in Niger. So we're kind of in pause at the moment while we see where that process goes to, but the conversations continue with the lenders. We continue to work with the government on the things that we can work on. But we have our second project, which is our Zambia project. We are pushing that one to finish its feasibility study by the summer next year, and then that will go into the financing stage as well. So in the next couple of years, we should have two projects under construction, looking to be producing about 5 million pounds of uranium per annum from then on.
What separates GoviEx from other junior mining companies?
Well, I think the fact that we have two permitted projects, I mean, permitting in our industry is not the easiest thing to do. The fact that we have two projects that are in that stage and really are ready to go in at a time that the uranium market is looking fantastic. So, I mean, that really is the key driver.
Are you facing any risks or challenges currently? Always. I mean, it's hard to avoid them, but what are you doing to mitigate them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, each risk, there are multiple types of risks that you can take in the business. Obviously, at the moment, our political risk in Niger is our biggest one. But, I see that ultimately being resolved. I mean, coups in Africa are not new. They are just governmental changes. And they tend to be neither socialistic or nationalistic and still want mines to be developed. And we continue communication, and communication is the key in all aspects of mining anyway, whether it's with your governments or your communities. We continue to work with government to go forward, and there will be a resolution. And the rest are just standard mining, technical risks, dealing with the communities. Those are standard risks.
And what initiatives are you taking to ensure environmental sustainability?
Yeah, we put out our second sustainability report in October. People talk about pros and cons of ESG. At the end of the day, ESG for us is just running a safe mine, an environmentally safe mine. It comes in all aspects, whether we're starting at the beginning of a feasibility study, we look at what we can do to a project and make it better, how it works with the community. Our community work is really a lot. In Zambia, for example, as part of our ESIA, we realized that 70% of our population had no English education. Therefore, we couldn't employ them, even though we had to move them. So what did? We started an adult education program. So we now have over almost 600 students now learning English and math, so we can employ them when we are ready to get them there. And more than 60% of them, almost 70% of them are women, because they had no opportunity for education. And so we've been able to take that forward. So it has multiple benefits. Community love it. And even I was at one school and there were three old ladies over 60 years old. They obviously not looking for a job, but they suddenly realized the benefit of suddenly being able to access mobile phones and these kind of things, and realize that there's so much more opportunity out there.
That's incredible. Are there any modern or more innovative initiatives that you're taking that will benefit your current projects or things that you're going to do in the
we're
future?
always looking for technology benefit to take us through. I mean, for the example, the process plant for the new project in Muntanga, I'm looking at fully automating it. I mean, obviously it's a uranium mine. You want to keep people away from the radiation issue. So automation, the way that we're looking at the crushing process, we've changed that and reduced our power cut. In our Madaouela project, we completely changed our milling process, saved about 3 megawatts of capacity on power, reduced our water consumption by half. So things like water is a very big part of what we try and do and how we can cut our water. Even when we've got water, we don't want to use it if we can avoid it. And we don't pay for it, but we recognize it's a resource that needs to be looked after. And as I said, innovation is how we deal with our people and educate them as well to try and be as local as possible on everything that we do.
Daniel, we talked about how important it is to communicate well with the community, but what are you doing to communicate and stay in touch and stay transparent with your investors and shareholders?
Yeah, I mean, I have an absolute whipmaster of a corporate communications lady who just makes sure that we are always changing. She's way more efficient on things like Twitter and LinkedIn and these. So we look at different angles all the time. There is no proven one item that does everything. I've spoken to people, one person the other day who was developing an app for the young market, but a lot of old investors out there who like a more traditional approach. We basically do as many different varieties, but at the same time, you've got to be cognizant of your budget. You know, you can spend a lot of money in this industry very quickly.
You certainly can.
And so you've got to be sensible about it. But there is no right answer to it. But it's being, you know, coming up with the messaging all of the time and making sure that you're trying to hit as many different types of audience at the same time as well.
What are you most looking forward to the coming year in 2024?
Getting things resolved in Niger so I can get that project back on track would be fantastic. And being able to tell the people in Zambia that we're going to build that mine as well. I mean, that's our target, is to get 2 projects into development as quickly as possible. And with a uranium price that's now got at over $80 a pound, that's all very viable. And I still think we're going to see a high uranium price out there. So that's key.
Daniel, is there any other messaging that you would like to get across to our investors?
Yeah, I mean, obviously valuation is obviously part of the conversation that you have to have. And at the moment, we're only really being valued at a massive discount on our Muntanga project. So because of the political situation in Niger, you get Madaouela for free. And I think that's a key message that, you know, it's a great opportunity pricing to be there. We're undervalued relative to peers, but if we get a resolution in Niger, which I think we'll get very soon, there's a massive uplift potential there as well.
Wonderful. Daniel, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.